Hello and welcome to the Lucian video tutorial series. In this tutorial, we'll learn about optical character recognition, better known as OCR. Now, OCR is a confusing concept for some users, so let's pause for a quick second to explain it. First of all, you need to understand that OCR is only required for scanned documents, and even then you only need it if you plan to search the body of your documents or if you think you might want to copy text from inside of your scanned documents, for example, maybe to paste into Word to use there. Now, why is it true that OCR is only necessary for scanned documents? Well, let's take a look at this scanned document that I have right here, and we'll understand it a little bit better. If I go to my text selection tool here in FileCenter, this is a tool you use to select text in a document to be able to copy it and paste somewhere else. If I try to select text in this document, you notice I can't select anything. There is no text in this document. And the reason for that is a scanned document, as far as your computer is concerned, is nothing more than a picture. Even though you can look at that and you can see words in the document, the computer simply sees a digital photo for all intents and purposes. Now let's contrast that with this document right here, which is a PDF that I created from a Word document. In here you'll notice I can select text. I could copy text out of here, I could paste it somewhere else. This document has text. I can search this document, I can copy text from this document. So the question is, how do I get my scanned document to behave like this one? And the answer to that is OCR. What OCR does, it goes through your document and it looks for characters. It looks for letters in the document, and whenever it finds one, it's going to extract that text from the document. Basically, at the end of an OCR process, what you end up with is still the same picture of a document, but everywhere that there's a letter or a word in the document, FileCenter is going to put real text in your PDF behind that image. Let's quickly run OCR on this document so you can see exactly what we're talking about. You start OCR from the OCR button up here on the main toolbar. And there are a number of options here, and we'll talk about those shortly. But for now, we're just going to click Start OCR. And now FileCenter is going through that document, and you notice what's happened. We've already gone through the first page, and here is the text that FileCenter was able to recognize inside of that document. And when it finishes it up, what it's going to do is take all of that text, and as I said, it's going to actually insert it into the PDF invisibly behind the image, so it doesn't change the way that the document looks at all. But now there will be real text in there. Now I'm going to close this window. This window, by the way, is simply to show you what was found. But all that text is actually inside of the document, and you'll notice that now I can select text inside of this document. I could copy this. I could go and paste it somewhere else, and this document is now capable of being searched. The body text in the document can be searched. So that's the purpose of OCR, to expose actual text in a scanned document. Now that we understand what OCR is, let's take a look at a couple of the OCR options. Now, the most common option, the one that you're going to use most of the time, is Recognize Text, which is self-explanatory. That's just going to find the text in your document. Now, this option you're also going to usually leave selected. Make Searchable PDF. What that means is once FileCenter finds that text, it's going to put the text back into your document again to make it a searchable PDF file. Now, separators, we talk about in the separators tutorial. So you want to take a look at that if you're interested in using document separators to automatically split your scans into multiple documents. Now, another option that you're going to perhaps want to use for some of your larger documents is limiting OCR. The idea here is if you have a 100, 200, 300 page document and you're wanting to make it searchable, odds are that the information that you need to make it searchable can be found on just the first couple of pages in the document. So there's no point in waiting for OCR to run through hundreds of pages when you can really get what you need by OCRing just a couple of pages. So you can select this option and tell FileCenter how many pages you want OCR'd, and then the rest of the pages will be skipped. Now we've got a few other options that you can read about in the help manual, such as rotating pages, removing blank pages, etc. We will pause to note the OCR engine. Now, FileCenter Standard comes with an OCR engine. FileCenter Professional comes with an additional OCR engine that has higher recognition rates and ability to recognize foreign language characters and a few other benefits. So make sure that if you're using FileCenter Professional, pick the OCR engine that's going to work best for whatever kind of document you're using. Now, the last option we want to talk about is sending OCR text to Word. And this is a great option. With this option, instead of putting the text back into your PDF file, it's going to send your text to your word processor so that you can then edit that document, make use of it in some other way. Let's run this really quick so you can see what happens. OCR has just finished running and my document has just popped open in Microsoft Word. And if you look at it, it did a great job. Recognized the text very well and retained most of the paragraph formatting really nicely. This is a great way to be able to take a PDF file that's a scanned document and put it into Word if you want to reuse the text from that file. Now, I'm going to mention this because it comes up all the time. What about formatting? For example, we had bold up here, headings, and we had bold in some other places. Why didn't we retain the formatting? Well, the fact of the matter is, OCR engines do a great job at recognizing text, but when you're asking it to recognize what font is being used, or whether it's bold, whether it's not bolded, what the font size is, whether it's italicized and whatnot, at that point, your OCR engine is going to start to stumble a lot, and you're going to end up with a document that's full of formatting errors. And what we found with our users is it's a lot easier to go through and reapply formatting in a couple of places than it is to go through a document and fix hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of formatting errors. Okay, let's switch back over to FileCenter and take a look at doing OCR inside of the Manage view. Okay, here's a document that I scanned some time ago, and now I want it to be searchable, so I'm going to use OCR to make it searchable. I click the OCR button, and everything is the same as it was when I was over in the PDF editor, except I have one additional option here, and that is I can specify a file name. Basically, when you're in the Manage view, you can save out your OCR document to a new name, so you're not overwriting the original. In this case, I do want to overwrite the original, so I'm just going to go ahead and click Start OCR, confirm that I want to overwrite the file, and there it goes. FileCenter is running OCR, and it's going to make this document searchable right here in place without me having to leave my cabinets at all. And there we go, it's done. One last thing to mention. Since OCR is only required for scanned documents, wouldn't it make sense to tie OCR in with your scan to do it all at the same time? And the answer is obviously. And inside of FileCenter, on your scan dialog, you'll notice that there is an OCR tab down here at the bottom. So when you're scanning a document, you can come down here and you can select Make Searchable PDF. Notice that these are pretty much the same OCR options that we saw over in the OCR dialog. When you have this selected, your scan is going to come in and FileCenter is automatically going to run OCR on that document as it comes in. So your scanning and your OCR happen in one easy step. You don't have to worry about going in after the fact and OCRing your documents. So that's an overview of OCR. Hopefully you understand now when you need OCR and how to run it when you need it.